Alright then. We're here. It's some great time for some cash, and if you've got a bit of backstory, you would know that, well, generally for cash, what we do is we just don't really have cyber be involved in anything, which, I mean, seems like a great time to not do that, and, you know, maybe two-player cash would be a bit more of a problematic endeavor, because it's really not great to do cash with multiple people. It's just chaos, let alone 4 people. But you know what? It's fine. We can get to it right now, and we can just see what happens. And it'll be absolutely magnificent, because that's... I mean, I suppose how that's going to work, so... We're just gonna wait over here, because I suppose Cyber hasn't realized might need to actually start a lobby, because I'm not the one hosting this lobby this time, but... You know, to each their own, I suppose. I guess that does work out. So... if Cyber could actually start this, that would be quite nice, but we'll wait for a bit. And to put it quite simply, we'll just see what happens, because I don't really think we have that much influence over here. So while we wait, we're just going to exist here. I mean, there really isn't any incentive for anything else. It's waiting for Cyber to be done, and that's slightly sad, but you know what? It's fine. What do you mean, all one of us already? We're both in here. We're in the same... Look, we're in the same lobby, okay? We are already here. This isn't Freelancer's cut. I don't have to prepare my loadout right now, I can prepare it later. Not that this loadout's actually particularly problematic, but you know, a scrambler would be nice. Though, like... Yeah, there we go, perfect! So, we're gonna do cash, and it's going to be absolutely great, because we're gonna both go in together, and that's definitely not gonna backfire at all, considering the fact that, well, you know, it's cash, and generally that gives us a lot less of a leeway to work with, when we kind of don't have a leeway to work with, if that makes sense, which it probably doesn't, but you know what? Why does Cyber have an F57? Look, okay, don't question it, it's fine. We won't have to worry about it at all, and then we'll just get right to it, and then absolutely nothing's gonna actually go wrong, which will be the ideal situation over here. So we're just going to take care of the stuff over there, go through here, and because I haven't actually really read the challenge beforehand, be very thankful that it's not something like unskilled or inexperienced, because I definitely did not even prepare a skill tree for this, which generally we would have wanted, but it seems like right now the intel's telling us that it's maybe in the basement, so we'll just go over here, view it over here, because Cyber is very slow when it comes to hacking, and then we'll find it right over here. So, first of all, way ahead of Cyber. Secondly, let's work on getting this actually, well, opened, which... Yes, what an astute observation, but we'll go over here. We'll wait for a bit, and presumably Cyber's gonna give us some kind of cue as to when we should go, which... I have no idea. What is the code, Cyber? Cyber? Actually, we don't actually have to answer... We don't have to type in a code for this. We don't have to actually type in a code for this. We could do that. And arguably, things are quite bad right now because this isn't exactly what we asked for, but you know what? It's fine. We've both got a disguise, and now we just can't take out anyone else, which seems like something waiting to backfire, but you know what? It's going to be perfectly alright. Because this is not a bad idea at all, and we are not on track to messing this up. I promise. And a good start will be maybe realizing where the screwdriver is, which we don't actually really know, which isn't that great, but we did take out a lot of guards, and it seems here that all of the guards that we didn't take out are all upstairs, which is certainly quite comical, and I've just tried to open that with a screwdriver that I do not actually have, so let's make our way downstairs, go through here, and then afterwards try and do something that's, well, interpretable as useful, which, for a start, will hopefully include not doing whatever that was, because that's definitely how you not get caught. So if you could... Why is everyone following me? Let's not do this today. We are not... Listen. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's go in here first for a moment. I mean, Cyber, I know you say don't worry about the hitboxes, but they were never a problem. You and I both know that. It was instantaneous, it's absolutely magnificent, and well, there's nothing you can do about that, because that's, well, already been sorted. So we're just gonna get this open over here. And I'm going to start expecting that Cyber actually comes in and does something, because, well, that's kind of the premise of this entire thing over here, which is that Cyber's participating in the thing, because that's generally not how we do cash. So if we could just very nicely have a jab at how that wasn't really anything, that would be quite nice, but there's always a bit of waiting. And I mean, there's always a bit of you over there, which, now that that's taken care of, we should probably just hide, and that's probably the best course of action. And I mean, naturally, we're just gonna get this picked open. I'm not saying it's a good idea, I'm just saying that it's definitely an option, which, this is completely useless. I'm very, very tempted to shoot this over there, and yeah, they can definitely see us. Let's maybe not ever do that again, because that's certainly not very good for not getting caught, which, generally not the game plan here, so... Hi there. Let's remember that this is in fact hidden section bars, and that's probably not a good idea, so we could always come over here and... I suppose we could do that if you're just going to not notice anything, which... Never mind, I suppose you will notice something, and that's maybe not very favorable. So if you could just walk over... Walk over here. And if we could have you just come over here so we can answer radio and hopefully not get caught, which for this location is highly unlikely except for the fact that this would be making a lot of noise, and that's not very favorable. Let's just knock you out and you'll notice absolutely nothing, and that's, I guess, the favorable result that we want. So we're just gonna go in here, get this taken care of, and presumably Cyber's working on getting us the USB that we'll need quite soon. Not because we're actually discovering how this works, but because we're just, well, doing the mission. This is not suspicious at all. I can't imagine everything in this could be a body. Yep, that sounds about right. So, hopefully Cyber's working on getting things done over here, which is not happening because of course not. So, at this point, the only reasonable conclusion is that just Cyber's not doing anything purely out of spite, which, I mean, of course is going to happen. So we're just going to crack open the safe over here. And then I suppose we're going to be done, and that's not very complicated at all, which I mean... Right. Let's take care of things. Let's... The USB does not take up that much space. Right then. Sure, we'll go over here. We'll just go over here. We'll set... You know, Cyber's in a 5-7, and it's gonna be very, very comical if Cyber just shoots over there, but... This window's alarmed over here. And we could always make it here in decent time. Sorry, was that supposed to work? That was not supposed to work. So instead we're just gonna quickly check that we've actually done the challenge, because I don't... That's not supposed to happen, but... I mean... Sure, I guess we're done then.